Hey everyone, welcome to, or wait, no, I should say, my name is Shane. Are you gonna say your name?
Wait.
Alright.
Hold on.
Hold on, stick around. What are you looking for? Oh, you wrote it down. Hey everybody, I'm Shane.
And I'm Nolan.
And you're listening to the Catfish Connection. Episode 4.
We're getting tight on that last part.
Oh yeah.
In the episodes. Let me crinkle this paper back up.
Wow,
right.
we're peaking way more than we did. We're way louder than normal.
Yeah, we're gonna have to be careful with our high fives this time.
Yeah, and you're not gonna have to be able to go up and hug it and go.
Yeah.
Usually do. I go.
Should take a drink of your water.
I should.
You've never had this before, right?
I have not. My CBD water I just got a Chevron.
Yeah, it's good for you.
Interesting.
See, it's not. It doesn't taste great, but
I've never had something taste.
It's not as intense as like LaCroix though.
Yeah.
So it's bearable, and you get used to it.
I've never had something like that. It's definitely better. I can actually handle this. I can't handle LaCroix.
Yeah.
LaCroix tastes like sour water. Well, that's what we call it, but
yeah,
sour water. It's sour water.
Pretty good.
I like it.
And it'll.
It's a little jarring at first.
Mm-hmm. It's good for your joints and shit, probably. I don't know. It refreshes, hydrates, and heals, apparently.
Epic.
And it's 0 calories.
0 calories.
There's no sugar.
What? You're pulling my leg.
I swear it. I swear on my mother's tomb.
You swear it. Your mother's alive. You're
Right.
pulling my leg.
I swear on my mother's bedroom.
All right.
So, what were we talking about?
What were we talking about?
We were talking about mansions.
Oh, we were talking about how I spend way too much money on things.
Oh yeah, and we were talking about how Shane's voice is louder than mine on the recording for some reason.
Possibly.
Because this microphone is significantly closer to me, I feel like.
That's true.
But
maybe I have a deeper voice that like is more bass.
I was gonna say maybe it just like reverberates with the room better. Maybe it's like resonating.
Right.
Because I have such a nasally, awful voice.
Yes, my movie voice. My voice is so
my deep voice.
Hot.
Yeah.
My voice is. I have a radio voice. No, I don't.
What's the lowest note you can sing, Shane?
Oh.
That doesn't count. Is that as low as you can go? What is that?
Oh, that's not on. That's fine.
Hold on.
Are we on the same pitch right now, or was I not?
I think we were at the same.
Really?
Yeah, I think our ranges are the same. It's just that my voice has a higher timbre.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that. It's not that you're. Yeah. What I said already.
Ooh.
This is an interesting start to this one.
I'm sorry, everyone.
It's because we're going crazy on this CBD water.
Oh yeah.
Marijuana related.
It's drugs, man.
It's drugs, dude.
As we covered in our second podcast.
Wasn't that our third?
No, third was. Yes, it was that one.
Yeah, because that was last time because
Yeah.
I was talking about CBD because I was drinking the same water.
Yeah, I got mixed up.
Because the other thing about CBD is that if you're like really baked and you take some CBD, it can mellow you out. It makes you feel better. Which is why I took it last time.
I mean, what?
I mean, I've never done drugs. Because, yeah, I was like...
You were baking.
Yeah, I was making a lot of cookies, and it was just stressing me out, so I needed some CBD.
Yeah, to make you feel better.
To chill me out.
Uh-huh.
You can quote me on that. But yeah, so I was like, I need to go to Chevron real quick before I go to Shane's house.
I was baking too many cookies.
Yeah, and what I do is because I think the people there usually know that I've baked cookies recently. What I do is I park at Ray's, and then I walk over to Chevron, and then I walk back to my car, and then I just drive real quick to your house.
Chevron's pretty far from Ray's.
It's not that far.
Oh, I guess it's not as far.
It's
as
like 2.5 parking lots.
Because like I'd probably go to the gas station by Tailgaters, because that one's like a block closer.
Yeah, but I don't know if they have it there.
Yeah, I don't know. Chevron's pretty dope.
I like Chevron.
Whoa.
Dead air.
Just got chess moves.
Huh?
Have you moved in chess yet?
I think so, unless you responded after you took my knight. I just took your bishop and my queen.
Yeah, I responded to that this morning.
Okay, then I haven't.
Alright.
Oh wait, actually, I think I might.
I didn't get.
Oh yeah, I remember you responded to, because you moved bishop back to b3.
Yeah, because it was threatened by your pawn.
Yeah. I was setting that one up. I didn't think it was a terrible trade, you taking my knight. Because knight and bishop knight and bishop
same.
are equivalent, so
yeah.
I figured it was a decent trade.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't too worried about it. And plus,
that's why I was just trading.
And plus, I got to move my queen out.
Mm-hmm.
Though it is kind of early to be moving the queen, but either way, I'm not too worried about it. Really, the end game is really where it gets serious.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and I'm like, I've been trying to like give myself a long time to like assess everything, but this early in the game,
there's not much
to be considering, because you're like...
Yeah, because I'm honestly worried about it, because the bishops look so much like pawns that I have to like...
You should keep track on your board.
Yeah, I honestly should, because I put it takes me like so much longer to actually be comfortable with moving.
Yeah, especially because you're having to look at it sideways.
Yeah.
It would. I think you should just keep track.
Yeah, because without me like having my own board set up, you definitely have an advantage that way.
Yeah, because I get to rotate it and look at it from the regular perspective and stuff.
Yeah.
But
so I should do that. Yeah.
But yeah, I was to just finish that thought, like. Yeah, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna like consider everything, and I'm just gonna like really take my time because I have plenty of time, and then I look and I'm like, that's not hanging, that's not hanging, that's not hanging. None of my pieces are hanging. None of Shane's pieces are hanging. That's being threatened, but it's not hanging. That's being threatened, but it's not hanging. Might as well just do this, and so it really doesn't take that long. So I just end up throwing it out there. But in the end game, I might start taking longer to really think about it, because it gets tricky, because that's where I make huge blunders where I feel like a person like you who probably has better like vision than me would be like, why in God's name did you do that? That was the stupidest thing ever. Because I'll be like, I have a solid like starting game, and then I will just like, I just don't see shit, and then I'll be like, yeah, I can just do this, and so I'll just doomp, and then I see a bishop from across the board will just be like, boom, take your queen,
snipe you,
and I'm like, I'm down a queen now. I'm retarded. Why did I do that? God, I should have seen that coming. And it makes me scream, because I do that so regularly, and I try my best to be like, yeah, I'm totally safe here. I can totally do this. The main thing I don't see is like discoveries. You know, because I don't generally like move pieces into like bad places. It's that I don't see that this piece is protecting a different piece, and so I'll move it somewhere else, and then suddenly it's being threatened, and then they just take it.
Yeah, if you have like a web, you have to be really careful that you don't unravel it yourself.
Yeah, because I don't realize that I'm making one until
really?
is the problem.
Okay.
It's just there. It just happens naturally, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just move this. I can capture this piece over there. He's got a hanging pawn, and I move my knight because they don't think of it as a hanging pawn because they see that my knight is pinned, but I don't see that my knight is pinned to the queen, and so I'll just be like, and they're like, why did you do that? Bam, I just make stupid moves like that.
That's my step grandpa that like taught me and trained me in chess. He really, because when I first went to his house, I was like bad, and he really like drilled into me just like one like really important thing is just to see the board and just be able to see everything really fast, really clearly.
Yeah.
And
but chess it just takes a lot of training because the only real way to like train your like vision especially is to just play a lot.
Yeah.
And be like, and I've been doing like puzzles and stuff is the other thing.
Right.
But I struggle with puzzles too because sometimes I just don't know what it wants me to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, what?
I've actually had a couple of the chess puzzles like be worse moves than ones that I found. It doesn't happen very often, and I haven't done the chess puzzles on chess.com in a while.
Yeah.
But there's been like 2 or 3 that I was like, this, like I accomplished the same thing in fewer moves with losing less pieces.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I've noticed is that a lot of the chess puzzles, it'll start with the computer making like a really shitty move. Or just generally, like, the computer will just make stupid moves that just, it's like, see, now you have a checkmate. And I'm like, but that's because they did something retarded.
Yeah, it's like you would assume that they wouldn't do that if they were a real person, and so you don't think to do that.
And half the puzzles are just, like, checkmating king in the castle with the rook. Like,
right.
Like, they'll just be over there, just sitting there. They haven't moved their king out of the castle. The castle is literally just 3 pawns where they originally have been. And then you just have your rooks, and you go, and it's over. And it's like...
I mean, that is the end to a lot of games.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's like...
Not a lot, I guess.
It's like, I get the picture. Why are half the puzzles the same couple moves?
Definitely the amount of puzzles they have.
And it's not even like you have to like set it up and then do it. It'll just be like, look, you can move your rook up here, and then it'll capture, and then you move it up.
Although I think the puzzles do change depending on what difficulty your like number is at.
True. What is your rating at chess.com?
I don't play chess.com as much as the other ones, so it's not much
true.
higher than like default. But let me see.
I think mine is pretty shitty right now.
Settings or stats? Is that? Oh.
So your blitz score, your rapid score, and your daily score are all different. So my rapid is 485.
I'm not even. Okay. My daily is 1054.
Nice.
And then blitz and rapid.
Yeah.
Wait, what about bullet?
I've never played bullet, so I don't even have a rating. Have you played bullet chess?
No. Have I played blitz? Oh, I have played blitz.
My blitz is 767, but I suspect that's because I rarely play blitz.
My blitz is 1074, but I've played 3 games, I guess. And then rapid or bullet?
Oops.
Bullet is 800, which is 0 games. And then what was rapid, did we say? Ooh, yikes. Rapid is bad.
What's your rapid?
657 with 2 losses.
Oh. Yeah, but once again, that's probably because you haven't played that much. I'm sure.
I've only played 3 games.
I'm sure it would level out if you played more. Because I've been playing quite a bit recently.
Yeah, daily is 7, 2, and 1. 7 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. And it's 1054.
I shudder to think what my win-loss ratings are, because I suspect that I have more losses than wins in all of them. Because I am really bad.
Are you still playing with Brian?
Yeah, I'm playing with Brian right
How's
now.
that going? Have you gotten out of the
well, we're really early game.
Okay.
I think we're only on move like 5 or 6.
Okay.
So, but I suspect he's gonna win because he's 960 something, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I'm 400 and something.
Have you checked how many games he's played on there?
I haven't.
Because the amount of games I played on Chess with Friends is like way higher. I want to check actually.
Is there ratings on Chess with Friends?
Well, there's no like number rating, but you can check like your ratios.
Okay. Yeah, well, because the thing is that I don't play Chess with Friends because it always crashes.
Really? It doesn't for me.
It says game got corrupted, and it'll just delete my game.
Weird.
Yeah, so I stopped using it.
I have
tried using it a couple
59
times.
wins, 33 losses, 2 draws.
Nice.
And yeah.
But
I guess there are like skill ratings.
Hmm.
My peak skill rating was 1377, but it doesn't say my current skill rating.
But yeah, I'm just like I'm
1319.
so bad that it's like embarrassing sometimes because I got this like chess program like an actual app on my computer, not like an in-browser thing.
I used to have some of those.
And it was it was a 100 level chess computer. And I started at level 1, and I almost lost. I didn't, but I was like, how am I being challenged at level 1? Okay, that says something about my skill level. And I don't feel like I'm not like stupid, but I just make these stupid blunders all the time. That's the main thing.
My step grandpa actually gave me a DVD to go in your desktop computer from like the early 90s. It's like a super fucking old program just called like Chessmaster 9000 or Chessmaster 3000, and it has like 1,000 levels.
Wow.
Or some shit, and the top one is Grandmaster.
Wow.
And I think that he's gone through all of them before, and I'm just like, oh my god, man.
I figured something like that, like, which is why I downloaded the 100 level one. Something like that would probably be the best way for me to like start improving, is just like beating gradually better computers
and reading about it and doing puzzles.
Yeah, and I've been like watching chess matches.
There's puzzle books too, which honestly are better than the chess.com puzzles.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to title this one like Chess Talk or something.
Yeah, this is the first, because I've been formatting the titles as like, one was, the first one is naming the plot, but then the second one was something in video. I go this and this, and then I go this and this, so this one will be chess and whatever we talk about later.
But also, I've been wondering, have you ever watched like Grandmaster chess matches?
Not like live ones. I think I've seen them in movies, and I think I've seen like the big one with like Bobby Fischer against the Russian dude.
Okay. I've noticed this thing. They're always like looking around and like
really
yeah, it's super weird. I'll have to show you one after this, but they're always like it's almost like they're doing it like it's a thought out thing. They do this thing where they like look around a lot and they'll like look over at the side, and they'll grab a piece that they've captured. They'll like grab a piece that they've captured and like hold it in their hands for a second and like look around and then like put it down.
And this is a consistent thing with different people?
With different people.
That's weird.
I've been watching a lot of like Grandmaster tournaments with like the India tournaments and stuff. I've been watching a lot of Hikaru Nakamura, Magnus Carlsen, the Indian ones.
I don't know these people.
They're chess grandmasters. But
current ones or like old
current ones?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like Magnus Carlsen, he's like I think he's like the best grandmaster in the world right now. But But yeah, and they all do this weird thing where or at least most of them do. Definitely Hikaru does, and Magnus does it.
I've never seen that. It's weird.
But yeah, they'll like even at the beginning of their turn, like the other one will like slap the clock, and then they like look. I guess you guys can't see what I'm doing, but they like look around,
like look around the room,
really shifty, and it seems very like it seems like a tactic because it's so consistent and it's so strange to me. And I was just wondering if anybody knows what I'm talking about and can explain it to me, please email us. Tell me, because this has been burning at the core of my being. I looked it up a couple times too, but it's hard to look up like why do grandmaster chess players look around a lot? You know, like you don't get a lot
it's never concise.
Yeah, and so I don't know. That's really been just like so. I've been trying to figure it out.
And you can also just DM us on one of our private social medias. It's linked in the.
Yeah, or DM us on our. We have an Instagram, right?
Yeah, that's true. I guess you can do that.
Have you been putting that in the description?
I actually haven't because I made it after I made the description.
Okay, so I think in the future we should put the actual Catfish Connection contact information first and then our stuff.
I'll do that. I can actually edit the descriptions of the previous videos, so I can do that already.
Just because it would be better if somebody wants to talk to us specifically about the Catfish Connection, then it would be better for them to just email one of those things instead of us directly. And, because we're probably more likely to respond on those.
Mm-hmm. But I also it would just be cool to get more traffic on my Instagram.
Yeah. No, definitely follow our Instagrams.
Oh yeah,
and stuff,
do that.
My TikTok. If you want to talk to us about something that we talk about on the Catfish Connection, hit up the Catfish Connection Instagram. Ooh, maybe we should put those in the thumbnail too.
Oh yeah, like a little tag in the bottom right.
At least in like an end card or something.
Yeah, that's true.
That would probably be a good idea. Man, it's so cool. The people from the future who are actually, I don't know if anybody's watching this. You know, at the time we're speaking, I don't think a single person has watched our podcast. But in the future, hopefully, there are lots of people watching our podcast, and they're watching this episode, and they're just like, wow, this is them figuring out, all the stuff.
The first podcast has like 5 views, and I think I've only clicked on it like twice, probably.
I wonder if it's... See, and we haven't even really told our friends about it, really.
No, yeah.
So, could be anybody.
Who knows?
I hope this takes off.
Some people did follow the Instagram, so they could know about it.
Okay.
Because it does like suggest. Max did, I think.
Okay.
It did suggest it to some of our friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'll check it.
But yeah, no. This podcast, I have a lot more fun on this podcast than like my personal podcast I did.
It's more of a conversation
than I did on my just because it's like, you have twice as many like ideas and stuff.
All right, yeah. So, okay.
Shoot.
The people that already followed it, because this was an old account that was for something else, and then I changed it to this Catfish Connection account.
Mm-hmm.
And
and
so I actually have followers on here that don't know about it, I don't think.
That's so funny.
But I got followed by a new person since changing it called Noodle Soup 3582, and his name is John Campbell.
Our first fan.
And he has 42 followers, and he's following 90, and he has no posts. And he's just a bald old man.
But is he, or is that just a picture? Maybe that's
I have no idea.
John Campbell from John Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup.
What?
From Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup.
Oh. Is it a John, though?
I don't know if it's a John. Or maybe it's the John Campbell from John Campbell Elementary School.
Ooh, that's what my first thought went to.
Which is where we went to elementary school.
Yeah.
On Top Chain. That was so light.
I'm trying not to clip the camera.
Yeah, it is pretty sensitive.
Yeah.
But that was way quieter than us talking. Those were baby high fives.
Fine. It's also closer to my phone.
That's good.
Okay, I don't think that clips though.
That was perfectly fine. You talking is louder than that still.
I'm surprised it hasn't clipped yet because it's actually gotten up to 0.1.
Yeah, it gets pretty high.
Which is like as close as it can get without clipping it.
Yeah, but we're good. We're good.
I'm not even worried about it clipping, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really, for this kind of thing, for music it matters, but this kind of thing doesn't matter a whole lot.
Yeah. I don't even honestly know how clipping affects the sound file.
Well,
What
clipping
does it do?
in certain scenarios can damage both speakers and hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, especially if you have it turned up really loud, and the speakers, like as far as I know, as far as my knowledge goes, like the louder you have the volume when it clips, the worse it'll hurt the speakers.
It's just because there's like a sudden change in volume, essentially, right?
Yeah, and it's like it's capping out. It's like
because people will adjust their speakers for whatever volume it's usually at, and so if it like clips, then that's gonna be significantly louder, and so that's why, right?
Because there's like a certain amount of signals that it can give out, that the audio can give out with and like maintain or something. With that, it's hard. I don't know. And so when you put something through the speaker, it just like can't. It's just like a pop. So the pop is like so high frequency and so like intense of a vibration that like it can.
High frequency, high energy, high amplitude, blows up.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
So it's like dangerous.
Yeah.
People avoid it.
And oh my gosh, especially because like hardly anybody knows what they're doing with speakers.
Oh yeah.
Like
so it'll be clipping and then it'll turn it up like a whole bunch and
the speakers that were in the high school gym, they blew them out.
Oh, I know.
The first day they got them.
They don't need to play them that loud. They like destroy them.
Yeah, so that's why the sound quality was always so shit in there. Is because they blew out half the speakers on the first day.
And the speakers at the football field.
Yeah.
They got new ones every single year, and the first football game of the year, they would blow them out.
Yeah. And it's because...
And this is why I don't want teachers and staff and faculty, like we were talking about in the earlier podcast, handling the stage tech.
Yeah.
Because they fuck it up.
Yeah. Like, it'd be one thing if they were, like, people who know what they're talking about, like, but just random teachers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, the whole point of the stage tech is you have a group of people who are actually trained on how to use the stuff.
And they're interested, and that's, like, something that they're into, and
you can get scholarships for it. It's a good opportunity to learn about that stuff, and it's a good opportunity for socialization because it's a club like any other club.
Mm-hmm.
Although it used to be a class, and then when it became a club is when everything really started going downhill. But man, my glasses are so filthy right now. It's really bothering me. I'm one of those people who I like to have my glasses really clean most of the time.
Oh yeah.
But they're not right now. Because last night, a bunch of stuff fell off my end table onto my bed, including half of a hot dog, which I had been eating last night while I was playing Persona. So the hot dog just tumbled onto my bed, and so I was like scrounging around in the dark trying to push all the stuff off onto the end table again. And I just grabbed my glasses full palm and like smudged them up and yikes. Gosh, I hate when they're dirty like this because it bothers me because I can see like smudges in my vision.
Right.
And so I think I'm seeing like movement and stuff when I like turn my head and I'm like I don't know. Anyway. Oh fuck. We're losing it. We're losing momentum. What do we talk about? Say something. How have you been doing in Persona?
I'm doing all right. What was the last thing I did? I played for like half an hour before I went modeling with David earlier today. And
Shane went modeling.
Yeah. I'm a model now.
Because you got that watch.
Yeah.
It's a nice watch.
Yeah, I bought that watch. I got contacted by this watch company on Instagram that offered to give me 50% off if I ordered that day and agreed to model the watch and post it on my Instagram. So
what was the company? Give them a shout out.
Pierre Arden.
There you go.
On Instagram, and
that's our first sponsor.
Yeah.
Just kidding. They're not really sponsoring us, I guess. They just gave Shane a watch.
Yeah, it's like $160 watch that I got for half off, which is pretty, and it's like super awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice watch. I've always wanted to have like nice watches. Yeah. I have like a shitty Casio. Like, I need a watch I got it for when I joined cross country.
Right.
Which didn't last very long.
Because there's like, if you're going to go expensive, like you don't want to just go like half expensive.
Yeah.
Because if it's half expensive, you might as well just buy a cheap watch.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way about guitars.
Yeah, I guess so. But that's way more of a commitment.
Yeah.
Guitars is a little more complicated.
Instead of just like an accessory.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like but this was a perfect opportunity for me to get an expensive watch for half expensive price.
Yeah. Did you get to choose which watch?
Yeah, I chose from a website. They sent me a link to their website.
Gotcha.
And they just told me to choose any watch, and they had like 4 pages of watches.
Sick. You picked your favorite?
Yeah, a lot of them I wasn't super interested in because it wasn't what I was looking for. Some of them were a cool aesthetic, but they weren't what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But that one was like.
And now you have a watch. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Like now you just have a nice watch forever.
Yeah.
Even if you don't end up getting posted on there.
Yeah. I can give to my grandchildren. Oh yeah, they said that if my pictures were good enough, they would repost it on their Instagram.
Yeah.
So that'd be sick.
Yeah.
I'd be listed among a bunch of male models and shit.
Sick. How does it feel being a male model now?
Pretty epic. Way epic, honestly. I'm now a model, a podcaster, the program manager at the radio station, a musician.
A homosexual?
No. That's not true.
A smoker, a joker, a midnight toker.
Oh yeah. I'm
gangster of love.
Could be an actor someday.
Yep.
Too. Like Jared Leto. Started out as a musician, became an actor.
Yep.
I like Jared Leto.
Me too. The Outsider?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's a banger.
Why are you being so weird? This is a podcast.
Just trying to freak you out.
You're freaking out the listeners, man.
Sorry, listeners. Sorry, 5 listeners. Maybe. So yeah, what if we get like a couple people who like regularly listen, and just at the beginning of every podcast we're like, "What's up, Nick? What's up, Jason? What's up, Sarah?" And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I got shouted out on the Catfish Connection."
What if those are actually their names?
Yeah, what's up, Nick, Jason, and what did I say, Sarah?
I think so. And
Sarah.
So they start like watching and listening, and they're like, "Oh my god, how do they know? They're gods."
Wow.
We're gods to you.
I am Nick, Sarah, and Jason. Yeah. Shout out.
How do we do it? We're magicians.
Yeah, if you're new here,
and
drop a comment.
Nick?
And if your name is Nick, Jason, or Sarah, drop a comment. Say, "Hey,
I'm
what's
Nick.
up? I'm Nick."
Jason or Sarah?
Jason or Sarah. Now you're being weird.
Shut up. Yeah.
You shut up.
No, you shut up.
Is this our first fight as podcasters?
Write it in the record book.
Yeah. So, back to Persona.
Radio host.
Where are you at?
I am at the part... Well, I just got done with the buffet after you beat Kamoshida.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone celebrates. And then I named myself Prospus, actually. I forgot to tell you that last night.
Oh, sick.
And, yeah, I was just like, this is a cool name. I'm satisfied with it, obviously. Yeah. And if you don't know, as a listener, Prospus is the name of our future band.
Yes.
When we, I have a few songs written for it, but we haven't recorded anything.
Yeah.
Because of the coronavirus.
Yeah. And no
mainly.
drum set.
Yeah.
Also partially because of coronavirus.
Yeah.
As we spoke of on episode
something
2 or 3, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe 1.
So, and then what comes after that? There's been a few things. There's just been like random talking. Like I talked to the guy that was always bruised up, like
Mishima?
Mishima, that's the name. Yeah, I knew it started the name. He was like, "Hey, I started the forum online."
The fan site, yeah.
And he's like, "And I know who you guys are, even though you won't admit to it." And he's like, "You guys are sick, rad, sick stuff."
Yeah.
You know, so then we were like, "Okay, cool." And then we're like, "We need to keep our eyes peeled for a new target, so we can get the Phantom Thieves to be like top dogs, you know."
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Have you done Mementos yet?
Mementos? I don't think so.
Yeah, you would know. Because Mishima actually becomes important as you go on. Becomes
I figured.
a big.
I started a bond with him, so I figured he'd be able to grow it.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever hung out with him. Actually, well, I guess when we hired that prostitute, who turned out to be my teacher.
Epic.
Yeah, we hung out then. And then she didn't even. She just left. She found out I was a high schooler, man.
She didn't even suck your dick.
Yeah, can't believe it. Go on.
Alright. Well, yeah, so yesterday I did the second half of Kamoshida's Castle, and then I beat Kamoshida after training for like 10 more days. And then, there was something I did. There's something between that and where I am right now. I don't remember what it was. Oh, and Morgana's just been bugging me a bunch, you know.
Oh yeah.
She's always fucking saying shit.
Yeah, there are just parts of that game where the people around you just talk and talk and talk forever, and they all say the same shit like over and over again. Like there was one part where we were trying to figure out where this one guy is that we're looking for, and this guy's like, he's on Central Street, and then like Yusuke texts me, he's like, I hear that he's on Central Street, and then I text the whole group chat, and Ryuji's like, so that guy's on Central Street, and I'm like, oh my god, what was the point of even asking the first guy if everybody figured it out, you know? And then we go to Central Street and we don't even find the guy. That was the best part.
Scott and Colton say that Makoto, she's actually doesn't. She's like, they're like, man, Makoto and Joker are like the only two that aren't stupid in the group, you know?
Yeah.
Like apparently Makoto doesn't do dumb shit like that or say stupid shit. Because, you know, she's like top of her class.
Yeah,
That's kind of her character.
Yeah.
Is that she's a genius.
Because, they're all kind of retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this Ryuji... See, Ryuji's, like, a cool guy, but he's just so dumb.
He's like the Naruto. He loves the group.
Yeah,
he's
like definitely the Naruto.
The retarded one.
Because he's, like, strong, but he just is dumb and loud.
Yeah.
And you're just like, shut up! Like, every couple seconds... He's like, so being the Phantom Thieves, as we are, you know, and everybody's like, dude, don't say that we're the Phantom Thieves, we're in public, you're being so loud, Ryuji. And then An says something, you know, stupid, and then Yusuke's like, I'm a weird guy, because I'm an artist, I eat oatmeal with parsley in it. You know?
I haven't unlocked him yet, but
I
have seen him play.
like Yusuke, but
I have seen gameplay of him.
Yeah, but and then I'm just like, I've been playing Joker as just like the silent type, but like really cool.
Right.
So I just say things like, "You've got this, everybody. I'm counting on you."
We
like
probably do this. Pick similar voice lines.
Yeah, because I'm not like cracking wise all the time, because you have the option just to be like, man, Ryuji, you're a real fool, you know. And it's just, you know, I'm just like,
everyone calm down.
Yeah.
And it's weird. There's even sometimes where like it gives me the option to either say calm down, Ryuji, when I'm talking to him in like we went training at the track once, and some other track boys came up and were bullying him.
Yeah.
And he got mad at them, and I had either the option of saying like, "Calm down, Ryuji," or like something a lot nicer, and I went with the nicer one. And it like fucked it up, and then somehow it went back to it, and I used the "Calm down, Ryuji" one, and that actually worked. And I was like, what? Like, because that one seems to me like a lot more harsh. Yeah. Like, "Calm down, Ryuji."
Yeah. Shut up, dog.
Yeah. And but the other one was like I don't remember what it was. It was like longer and more like gentle. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just surprised that it didn't like what I picked.
Especially when it gives you the option. Yeah, I don't remember that. I mean, I remember that encounter, but I don't remember having that issue. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird sometimes. But yeah, and just the main thing is sometimes like when you texted me, you said that I could come over, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I'll just finish this thing up real quick in Persona, and then I'll save, and then I'll go. But I have to slog through like 10 minutes of dialogue, and then it teleports me somewhere else, and then I have dialogue, and then it takes me somewhere else, and then I have dialogue, and then I can finally save, and then I'm just like, God, it takes so long to be able to save, because you can't save in the middle of talking to somebody.
Yeah.
And you can't just and sometimes you don't get the option to like end the dialogue, and then when it takes you somewhere else, then you like start. Right. It'll just be like, now you're at a cafe, and then there's dialogue, and then now you're at somewhere else, and there's dialogue. So you just have to go through, and you start not paying attention to what they're talking about because you're trying to get through it, and then at the end of it, you're like, what are we doing now? So it just gets kind of irritating when you just have no autonomy for a while.
Right.
But you kind of get used to it, and then of course when you actually are like in a palace or in Mementos, it's nice because you can actually just like run around and fight things and choose what to do. And
yeah, it's kind of like a old-fashioned dungeon situation, and I like that a lot. Like such as like Zelda or Metroid, where you like unlock maps and stuff of the places that you're at.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
Yeah, the dungeon crawling is definitely my favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
And the palaces are all like cool and unique.
Right. Yeah. They're all really thought out.
You've only done one, but
yeah.
But
I liked it. It was.
They're all like unique to the person and their like mentality, and
they're thought out and stuff.
Yeah. And the like sneaking around and ambushing is cool.
Right.
And so it kind of makes up for it, but then you have to return to the real world, and you get your hand held throughout the entire...
And the fucking cat tells you to go to bed all the goddamn time.
Oh my god, yeah.
You're like, oh, I want to work, I have extra time, I could just go to bed later and work out for like 10 minutes. And it's like,
you're tired.
The cat's like, I think you're too tired to do that.
I think you should go to bed,
You go over there and click on it, and he's like, oh, you're pretty exhausted, I don't think you should do that. And I'm like, I don't feel exhausted.
Yeah, or it'll take me to the bottom floor of the cafe. And so I have the option to like make coffee, study, read.
Oh yeah.
And I'll try and make coffee, and it's like, I think you should head up to bed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't you just teleport me to like my bedroom like you usually do?
Like, what's the point?
Or just make it the next day. Like,
if you're not gonna let me do anything in this room, then why did you teleport me here?
Yeah. And so I'm always confused because it's like, sometimes it'll just make it the next day, and so I'm like, if it's not just making it the next day, if it's taking me to my room, then there must be some reason that there must be something I can do right now, but there isn't.
And like the LeBlanc owner, I can't remember his name right now.
Sojiro,
yeah. He and it's like, I'll always talk to him to see if I can like help him out.
Yeah. And most of the time he's just like, I'm keeping an eye on you, dog.
Yeah, or he'll like, or sometimes like, yeah, it's just weird because like sometimes you don't even have the option of helping him.
Yeah.
And
well, you can tell because he'll have the card symbol.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Otherwise, it's just a voice line. He'll just go, I hope you're not getting into any trouble.
Yeah.
And you're just like, and then you just walk by and go upstairs. Although usually when it's the ... instead of the card, it means you can probably make coffee.
Okay.
And making coffee is really useful.
Unless Mona decides that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Want to go to bed.
Yeah, you try to make coffee and it's just like, oh, I think you have a big day tomorrow. I think you should go to bed.
You had a big day.
You're like, well, maybe I have a big day tomorrow, so I want to make coffee so that I have this item in battle.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a useful item to have.
True.
Because there are tons of different things that you can use to gain HP.
Oh yeah.
But there's only a couple to gain SP.
And they're all in like vending machines and.
Yeah.
They all cost money. Coffee doesn't cost. Right.
Yeah, you can just make one every day.
And it doesn't cost any money.
Unless it just makes it the next day. Sometimes you can't. Or sometimes Moon tells you can't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like, you should make it as often as possible, in my opinion. Because it doesn't even take time, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, if it does, it's only passing the amount of time you'd be spending, like...
Yeah, and it's usually, you know, it's the same as just, like, training. Like, it's already evening, and then you can make coffee, and then that's the last thing you can do, and then you have to go to bed.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's really no point in not doing it. Unless you want to train instead, or more craft stuff.
I wish it was more convenient in, or more consistent in, like, the days, so you, like, can plan them out better, and, like, know what you want to, because...
Yeah, so you're not like, oh, that day was completely taken by dialogue. You know?
Or, like, because I spent my day doing this, I'll be able to go home and do some training, or I'll be able to make some coffee, and then it just decides that you can't.
Yeah.
It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, it can be a little irritating.
Yeah, because you know, it's just inconsistent, so, like...
Especially in a time management game.
Yeah, you can't really plan ahead.
Yeah.
You know, I like to plan ahead and be like, well, this is the best way to spend my time before I have to go and fight the boss. And then
and just random it's also random, like when you get a seat on the train, when you can use the library, when you can study in the cafe.
Right, yeah, like, so, when you can read on the train is so rare sometimes.
Yeah. And so it's just completely random.
Yeah.
And so it's a little frustrating. But yeah. I think we've squeezed all we can out of the Persona topic.
Probably. Have you bought anything cool recently?
No.
You bought the CBD water.
Yeah, I bought this water. Been really glad about this water. Are we gonna talk about water for a half an hour?
Sure.
I'm not. I don't want to. God.
Coward.
Went shooting today. I told you about that, but we shot guns off the top of our motorhome. That's pretty much it.
Classy.
Yeah.
Oh, when David and I were driving, because you know I was saying how we went photo shooting, and he got gas and he was pulling out of the area, and this truck pulled by us, and it was like this really beat up green truck, and I looked inside and there was the guy driving it was wearing like old beaten up like old coveralls, and then had like some missing teeth, it looked like, and it then had a big like beaten up straw hat, and he just like had this like crazy grin on his face, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's straight out of the Beverly Hillbillies. Like, it was like I had never seen someone look that wacky, like that. Because most of the people that live on Weenass in Sela are like they're a little bit, you know, like country folk, but they're like...
Well, the ones who come into Sela are more normal. There are some deep Weenass hillbillies who are freaky as fuck. There was this guy the other day, I was coming up my road, and there was a car who was stopped coming down the road opposite me. So I had just turned on to the road that I live on. There was a guy coming the opposite way, and he had stopped for an old man and his dog. and this old man was yelling at this car, and then like waved the car, gesturing to like go around them, and the car like went by, and then he was like following it. He was following this car down to the end of the road, and like looked very upset. And then as I was coming the opposite way from him, he was like glaring at me, and he had his like lips puckered up in this weird way, and it looked like if you were to like think of like how you would show an angry face to a baby, you know, just like yeah. And as I was watching him stumble around, I noticed that this man is either on crack or super drunk, because he's struggling with gravity.
Wow.
He's struggling to stay on his own 2 feet, and he is like just like pulling this dog around on a leash, and yeah, just like tumbling around. So I'm just like, man, there are some weird folks around here.
And that's not even that deep in the Weenass.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like super deep, but I'm probably like past the halfway point, because Weenass does go on for a while. I guess it depends if you're talking about like South Weenass, that gets farther, but like North Weenass only goes so far, and then it connects out to South Weenass.
Because my ex lived like quite a bit farther out, like 12 minutes from the start of Weenass. No, maybe 15 minutes or something, and then like off a road, and then like you go off Weenass onto like a dirt road, and then you like keep going for a while, and then like that's like really out there.
Yeah. So yeah, like it does go farther, I guess.
Yeah.
I mostly just think of like North Weenass. But occasionally I do go through South Weenass, and there is like hardly anybody out there. Like I went biking there one time, and there's that like there's a field of beehives. I rode my bike past this field of probably like 30-40 beehives, and I was riding a bicycle shirtless through a cloud of bees.
Wow.
And they were bouncing off of me, and luckily I didn't get stung, but you know,
terrifying.
Yeah, I was definitely like, oh my god, I'm riding through a cloud of bees. It was pretty wild, and I just think like, and there's like hardly anybody. Like it gets to a point where houses are like a mile apart.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you can
Becker,
hear the banjos playing.
My ex and Mr. Becker were actually neighbors. Cause the Beckers moved out there, like way out
Big
there.
Becker.
And I just remember I drove by his house one time.
What did they call him? OG Smoke? Big Smoke?
Yeah, so they had a lot of names for him. They also called him Kid Lover 9000 or something.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know, something like that. And I drove by once. I drove by his house and I looked at him, and he was just sitting there with like his left arm and like his left hand is his armpit, and his right hand like stroking his like chin, staring at a bush. There's like a bush in the middle of his yard, and he was just staring at it. Yeah. And the entire time I was driving by slowly on this like
maybe God was talking to him.
Yeah, on this bumpy gravel road, the not burning bush. I was driving by really slowly on this like bumpy gravel road, and I just like was staring at him the whole time, and he just stood there motionless, just like gazing intently at this just like little like 4 foot tall bush, and I was like, what the fuck? He's so weird.
What a guy.
Yeah. He is an amazing runner. He's like he's the fastest runner in the world for his age class. But he
I believe it. That guy goes hard.
Yeah, he can beat any high schooler in our high school easily.
I'm sure.
He wakes up and runs like 17 miles.
He could definitely beat his kid.
Oh yeah. I'm sure he does.
I bet he does.
Yeah. And yeah, It's just he's crazy fast, and
I guess I can't say that much about his son because I was the second slowest runner on the entire team for the month, maybe 2 months that I was in cross country. But yeah, he definitely. I don't think the thing is I don't think Josh really liked running.
Yeah,
but
he did
Becker
not.
liked running, so
yeah.
Josh ran. But yeah, there are just some people I think I'm like who like force their kids into sports that I'm like, God, just let them be, man.
It's weird though, because the first part of cross country in my sophomore year, his son was only there. He was either there. He's like, Mr. Becker was like, all right, everyone, here he's either going to, he may or may not run. He's like basically was either going to be an assistant to the coach, like helping him like with paperwork and management stuff, or he was going to run. He wasn't sure yet, but he was still there for cross country practice. And I guess he just started running. He just decided he's going to run for some reason.
Interesting.
But even though he obviously hates it.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of those guys they really enjoy it and they care about it and they find pleasure in like just working hard and running and stuff, and after races they're just like pumped up and
Yeah.
Whereas like Josh looks like he wants to die after a race or even after a warm up. He just looks like he doesn't want to be there.
There was a lot of practices. I didn't like the super hard practices, but a lot of practices where you're just like you're still like working out but you're like still like you're able to have fun with your friends. I liked those ones.
See, practice was my favorite part.
I hated the meets.
I only quit after the first meet. That was the reason I quit. Was like, I hate racing.
Yeah, the racing. I don't enjoy the competition of it.
Yeah, I was like, this is not fun. I liked hanging out with the guys, and I liked exercising, and drinking chocolate milk and going to Michael Strand's house.
It was weird. I think Becker got more, like neurotic and because I think he knew that he was going to be retiring soon. Because when my brother was running in 8 years before in cross country, Becker was like super relaxed. And the funny thing is that when Becker let them do what they wanted and they didn't actually take practice like as seriously or run as hard as Becker made me run, they performed better at state. Like Andrew, my brother, went to state like a few times with this varsity team, and they always performed well.
Yeah.
And then when in the 2 years that I was in cross country, Becker ran us into the fucking ground, and we never had those relaxed practices that my brother was talking about, where like he just like doesn't care where you go. He's just like, oh, go run in Sela for like an hour and a half.
Those are my favorite.
We never did any of those. Well, you didn't have Becker though.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah. We had Becker once, and it was the second hardest practice I've ever done.
Yeah.
Cause he like came back and was like, everybody was like, oh, G Smoke is back, Big Smoke is back, and I was like, oh, sick, everybody likes this guy, it must be really cool. And then he was like, all right, everybody, run to the intermediate school, and so we ran to the intermediate school from the high school. So we had to run up Fremont, which was already difficult for me, and then we did like a tempo.
We had a shortcut to get to the intermediate school.
We took the shortcut back, but we didn't take it there.
Oh,
okay. And then we did like a tempo run where around like the entire intermediate school, lawn.
Yeah.
And that was like a big run at like a pretty decent pace.
For a long time.
And then after that, first of all, Josh had to leave. Polly walked him back to the high school because he was like dying. And then and then we ran hills on the hill up across from the intermediate school.
I did that exact practice.
Yeah.
In sophomore year.
It was a nightmare, right?
Yeah, that was an awful practice.
I hated it, and those hills were hard because that's a steep hill. Because usually when
it is a very steep hill.
Usually
and
when
you
we
go
did
very high.
Usually when we did hills, we would do the hill
by John Campbell.
The park, yeah, by John Campbell.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty steep hill.
Yeah.
But this was a really steep hill, and we went all the way to the top and all the way back down, and I think we did. I don't even remember how many we did, but we did quite a few of them, and I was
probably like 8 to 10 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kill myself after that, and of course everybody cheered me on a lot because they knew that I was like not an athlete, and they could hear me breathing from the top of the hill when I was at the bottom of the hill. Because I was breathing so loud because I was just doing my best to get oxygen into my body.
Yeah.
And so like they would always be like, "Come on, Nolan, you can do it, man. Just keep going. You're all right." And I'm like, you know. And so it's just such a nightmare. And then and I like ran out of water, and then I was like, and then we had to run back, and we took the shortcut, and that actually wasn't too bad, but we were running with Riso Zanich, and Riso Zanich just has infinite energy, and so he was just like running the whole way, and I was just like, oh my god, can we jog a little bit, you know? But and so yeah, that was like the worst practice that I had ever done. But I still, you know, it wasn't that bad, but I just hated the meets. The meet, I guess, that I went to. Because after that first race, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Because like I was good at cross country, and I was a runner, but I just didn't enjoy the like super duper hard practices that Becker had us do frequently. And like Andrew didn't have to do very many of those, and I had to do them all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Because I think that because he was retiring soon, he wanted to try to like get a couple people to win state or something.
Yeah.
But he ended up just injuring everyone.
Yeah.
By making them do those practices like that like all the time.
So yeah, like Polly's practices were like challenging, but they didn't make me feel like I was dying.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a couple of them did, but only I would feel like I was dying while we were doing hills, and then we would move on to something else, and I would be okay again.
Right. Yeah.
Like he balanced it out pretty decently, I think, and so I always liked the Poly practices, but yeah, the one time that Becker came back, especially because I didn't even know that Becker was like a hard ass, because everybody's like, oh yeah, Becker's back.
Apparently he didn't used to be, but he is now.
Yeah, and
it's ridiculous.
Oh fuck, I forgot what I was saying. What were you gonna say?
Well, the hardest practice I ever had with Becker was when we ran, so from the very bottom of Goodlander up to like where we are right now, like we did all of Goodlander, and we did that twice. We went back down and we ran back down and did it again, and then we ran back down to the high school at the bottom parking lot, and we ran the hill between the doors and the fence. The hill that everyone has to walk from the bottom parking lot of high school.
Oh, gotcha.
But not like the slope, like straight up, straight and down. We
On
ran
the
that.
grass.
Yeah, we ran that over and over again. We ran that 10 times, I think. And then we ran up the hill on one foot. And then we did it on the other foot.
Is that even like good for you?
I don't know, but we did it.
Well, see, I feel like at that point he's just like a sadistic fuck.
Yeah, and then we did standing long jumps.
He's just like sitting back and he's just like, do it on one foot, you fucks.
Yeah.
You know, like.
So like after running like Goodlander, which is like the biggest hill and longest, tallest, steepest hill. Not steepest like in like there's steeper hills, but like in just how large it is.
Yeah.
It's just like steep. And it has a lot of steep parts.
I think probably Gore is steeper, but it's not quite as long. And it's also like just a straight shot, whereas and there's like a dip at one point in Gore before you get to the top, whereas Goodlander it's pretty much
it's
like
just
it
all
flattens
up.
out a bit, but it's still up.
Yeah, and it's really high, like a lot of elevation gain, and It goes for forever. It takes fucking, and then you do that twice, and then you do 10 more hills, and then you do the hill on one foot.
Yeah.
And then you do
I rode my bike up Goodlander.
And then we did a bunch of jump ropes for a long
Oh
time.
my gosh, I would be dead after that.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like, it's like, each of these things individually isn't that bad, but when you put them all, I mean, the 2 Goodlanders was pretty fucking awful.
Yeah.
But when you put them all together, it's just like, it's like several hard practices rolled into one.
So yeah, like I was saying, like, if Paulie did a something that was that difficult, he would balance it out and do stuff that's reasonable
and not make you run up the hill on one foot.
Yeah, because I'm like if you do work people that hard, I feel like you're just gonna get somebody hurt.
Oh yeah, I got injured every year that I did cross country.
Yeah, it's like Kamoshida.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that our physical therapist for the school doesn't think that cross country is a sport. Do you know the fat lady that like rides around?
Of course I know.
Yeah.
She was like best friends with. She was one of Hancock's close friends, so I knew.
She hates cross country.
Courtney Peart.
I hate her. I despise her.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that she is friends with Hancock.
Sport?
It just goes to show that she was friends with Hancock.
Yeah.
Because she thinks that cross country is ridiculous and isn't a real sport because it's just a bunch of people running around. She's like, well, other sports run around too, and they're actually doing stuff. And it's like, oh my god, do you understand?
I can't believe that that's like a take that somebody has.
I know.
Like it's not like how people are like band's not a sport, you know, because I'm like, yeah, band's not a sport, you know, or like stuff like golf, like you can argue that golf is a game and not a sport,
right?
You know, because that's fair. It takes skill, but it doesn't take like athleticism. It doesn't take like endurance or strength or anything, you know, like to a high degree at least, you know. So I think it's arguable with stuff like golf or bowling, but cross country. I don't understand.
It's like other sports are like there's a spectrum between sports and games, like as you're saying.
Yeah.
And golf is like 100% game or maybe 99% game.
Yeah.
And then football is like somewhere between there because it's like there's skill with the football and the game and like
I think it's pretty balanced. I think.
Yeah. And then cross country is all the way over as sport.
Just athleticism.
Zero game. Yeah, it's all comes down because you're competing in your athletic ability.
Oh, you clapped. Oh, it didn't clip still. How did it not clip?
I have no idea.
Huh. You clapped pretty hard.
Yeah, that was pretty loud. There is no skill in it. It is all athletic competitive ability.
See, because like calling, that's not even like saying that rap's not music. That's like saying that like alt rock isn't music.
Yeah.
You know.
Something that's just is music.
Yeah.
Undeniably.
I can't. So she actually said cross country is not a sport.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I mean, I didn't hear her say that, but a lot of the cross country we were talking about that. Just like she didn't. I don't know if she said the words "not a sport," but she definitely thought it was. No, I definitely did hear someone say that.
That's such a weird take.
I know.
That I can't believe that.
It's like it's not. She didn't do physical therapy on us like she did for all the football players. We would have to roll our like
she loved the football players.
She would never like tend to us or like give us ice baths, you know, or like if we were injured we couldn't go to her because it's like
she cared about football and basketball.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
And yes, it's retarded. It's like how can. And she probably spread that take to like football players that took her class.
I'm sure, yeah.
You know, and that's annoying to me because cross country has a hard enough time getting people to appreciate it as it is.
Yeah.
And it's fucking ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
Like there's.
I mean,
it has to be harder than football athletically because football has so many like fat people that are linebackers. You know, that they're just not athletic. They're strong.
Yeah, they're strong.
They're really fucking strong. I'll give them that, but they're not athletic in the same way that cross country is.
Yeah, and they have skill at a game is the other thing.
Yeah.
Like I can appreciate the skill and the athleticism.
I'm not throwing shade on football players. Football players are amazing, are like good, you know.
Yeah, they work really hard.
Yeah.
But you can't say that cross country is not a sport.
Yeah.
That's so ridiculous to me.
Cuz like you can be like, "Oh, I've you know, not all of football is practicing your athleticism. Some of it is like, okay, I'll do this little bit of like strength training, because there's no strength training because strength training for me, like stamina and endurance is so much harder than just like strength training, because like.
Well, yeah, because that like power lifters, they can lift something extremely heavy, but only for a couple seconds,
Yeah.
and then they're not going to do it again.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, and it doesn't make them that exhausted. They're just like, they're they're good to go. It's like, the muscles are just different, like they're like.
Yeah, well, it's
like,
it's
okay,
fast twitch versus slow twitch.
Right. They're like, okay, my muscles aren't going to be able to do that again, but my brain and my like lungs are like fine, and I'm not exhausted.
Yeah, you're not doing like cardio.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's like running. It takes a lot of mental and physical and endurance, and it's like
to do well in cross country, you have to constantly be like destroying yourself and like constantly be in a state of like, I want to die.
Yeah.
Even the coaches that have are like, yeah, that's normal. Wanting to die is normal.
Yeah.
Being in a run and a race and like hating it is just something that you have to get used to.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and that's the part I didn't like.
Yeah, me neither.
It's because like, yeah, I don't know. I want to start exercising more again. Because when I was in cross country, I was in great shape.
Yeah, me too.
Like I was in fantastic shape. Now I'm like, take it or leave it. I'm not like fat, but I'm not like skinny either. I've got like my titties are coming back. My gut is pretty big right now. And so I'm like I want to like, I kind of want to just start like running and doing stuff like that, and do like a lot of cardio and just be in good shape again, because it just felt really good to be in shape. And when I was in cross country, I looked forward to exercising. I actually enjoyed exercising. And when I was in PE, like everybody would be complaining about being in PE and having to exercise, and I'm just like, I didn't get it, because I was like, I actually enjoy being here and working hard, and so I don't know, it sucks, because now I'm like, I don't think I could do 30 push-ups if I wanted to. I definitely like, I don't think I could do 10 push-ups if I wanted to. I'm like, I used to be able to do 30, I think. I've never been good at push-ups. Sit-ups I used to be able to do like 100.
Oh yeah.
Now I could probably do like 20. And like, or like pacer laps, like running, I used to be able to do over 100 easily. And now I could probably do like 30, 40, pushing it. It's like, I just want to be back in shape again. Which is why I was going to the track the other day, but I haven't really gone back since then. Partially just because there's too many people there. I don't like working around like other randos.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I like to either be with people I know or be alone and listen to music and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple days ago. Yeah, like I always like do my exercising or running. If I do run, I go at night, like after my parents go to bed. Because one time I tried recently to go in when I woke up, and my mom was already awake, and she was like, it was just like my dad was.
Yeah, she was bothering you with the vacuum and stuff.
My dad was vacuuming, and he asked me where I was going, and I just said I'm going for a run, which was fine. That interaction was fine for me. If it had just been, where are you going? I'm going on a run. That's the end of it. Would have been fine. But then my mom runs out and she says, "What did you say? Where are you going?" And I said, "On a run." And then she couldn't hear me over the vacuum because she's like literally across the fucking house, and she just expects, I don't know. And so she like runs after, and she's like, and she like gets up to me and she's like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "I'm going for a run for the third time."
Yeah.
And then I guess that offended her, which it's like. And then I was just like, oh my gosh. I was actually like, I turned around like, oh my gosh. Because I was just like, this is ridiculous. Well, I can't, like, when I go on a run, I don't want to make a big deal out of it. The other thing was she said, "Good for you." Or like, "Oh, that's great." It's like, What? So you think I'm a fat fuck? Like, what do you think? You think it's good that it was like, oh, he should be going on a run, you know?
Yeah.
Because he never does any exercise, which I do, is the stupid thing. And so I was just really offended, and then she later in the day was mad at me for reacting so snarkily, and I was like, you are being utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And
So,
this
yeah,
stuff
like,
just happens all the time.
Sometimes the whim will just hit me, and I'll just like walk out my front door and go on a run or go on
And
a
nobody
walk.
fucking questions you.
Nobody.
And
nobody
it's
questions
great, and I
me.
can't wait to live on my own.
Yeah. I just like one time I did like I went on a walk really early in the morning, like it was like probably like 4 or 5, and my parents were in the living room, so they could see me going out the door, and I just opened the door, and I was gone.
Yeah, see, if I had tried to do that, they would have like made a fucking enormous deal out of it.
Yeah.
And I would have had to, sneak out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it frustrates me.
Wow.
I'm sorry to complain about this again on the podcast. All you listeners probably think I'm just a stupid teen.
My mom.
Yeah.
Well, we're hitting the 116 mark, so I'm gonna hit you with a. This has been the Catfish Connection. I'm Nolan.
And I'm Shane.
We'll see you next time.